Hello YouTube, today I will be showing you how to make your first app in Android Studio. This is a beginner tutorial for people who have never used Android Studio, and it is a tutorial for beginner programmers as well, because we will be creating a very simple app. Okay, first you need to download and install Android Studio, and once you have done that, go ahead and start a new Android Studio project. And name this anything you would like. I'm just going to name this tutorial. And make sure the company domain is not example.com, because when you try to post it to the Play Store, it will not let you. Pick a project location and click Next. Select phone and tablet and click Next. Select empty activity, click Next. And keep that as main activity and click Finish. And the project will load up, and this will take probably a minute at most if you've never opened Android Studio before. So this should just take a couple seconds for me since I already have it open. And it will open up two main files. And we're gonna wait for everything to finish loading in. Because at the bottom it says Gradle build running. We're just gonna wait till everything is done. Alright, so when you go into here, you will see a main activity.java, and this is your main file where you will be doing all the programming. And you will see activity_main. This is where you will do all your app designs. So if you go down here and click design, you will be able to design what your app looks like. And when this loads here, you will see the sample hello world project. Go ahead, click that and click delete. And as you can see, we have a blank canvas. So for this app, we're going to be creating a simple number that every time you click a button, it will increase by 1. So just a little clicker app. So let's drag a text view from the palette. So this palette contains all the stuff you can drag out to your app. So go to common, text view, and drag it. And make sure it's aligned with the dots all down the center. And as you can see, you have this blue line, this arrow. That means it's aligned vertically. And you're going to go and hover over this circle and drag it to the top. So this is all just aligning your elements on the page to make them appear where you want them to appear. So you're adding constraints. So go over here and change this 8 to a 64. And this is just your margin from the element to the top of the screen. And over here is all your attributes for the text view. So we can change the text. We're going to change that to 0 because that's what number we want to start at. And we're going to change the text size to 50. That looks good. And we're going to bold it. Alright, so now we need a button, and we're going to align that directly into the center, as you can see with both lines intersecting, and drop that. And we're going to name this Click Me. And it's already constrained directly in the center, so we don't need to mess with anything up here. And that is all we need to do for our design. It's very simple to do. So go over to main activity, and we're going to link up our buttons and text view. So one thing I forgot, we need to add an ID to each of these. So we're going to click on the 0, and up here at ID, we're going to name this number text view. So we name them for ID so we can more easily identify them when we start coding. So same for the button, we're just going to name this Click Me Button, just like that. And now we can go to main activity. So under public class, just enter down a little bit, and we're going to do private text view and click enter. And if it's red, you will need to import this right here. You need to import android.widget.textView, and then we're going to name the text view. We can name this the same as the ID or differently, so we're just going to name it the same as ID, number text view, add a semicolon, and that is all we need to do for that. So this is creating a variable called number text view, and we need to do the same for the button. So private button, and added 3 T's. And you will also need to import this if it does not automatically import. And we'll name this exact same Click Me Button. Now we need to link it to the ID. Go down and on create and do number text view equals in parentheses text view, and then find view by ID r.id dot, and then you will need to type in your ID, and I named that number text view the same as the variable name. They do not need to be the same, by the way. They can be anything you would like. Same for the button. Click me button equals in parentheses button find view by ID r.id dot, and then click me button. So we have linked our buttons up in the code. So now we can start creating a function when the button is clicked. So click me button dot set on click listener. So this is listening for a click on the button. And then we need to do new view dot on click listener, and click on click listener with your mouse and right click, or actually not right click, click it and then do alt enter, and then do implement method. Just click that and click on the on click right here and click OK. Now you will see this on click method. So this just saved us some time right here, so we don't need to type all this out. So we will need to add all the code in the on click method for when it's clicked, so all the stuff we want to happen. So what do we want to happen? We want to get the number, get the text from the text view, change it to a number, add 1 to it, then reassign it as a string. So we need to create a new string or a new integer. Int, this is how we create an integer. Instead of private or text view, private text view, we just need to do int, and then we can name this number equals, then I'll explain this after I type it all out, integer dot parse int number text view dot get text dot toString. So what this does is it gets the number text view dot text. So when it calls that, it's going to return 0, and then we're going to change it to a string. We're just going to make sure it's a string. Then we're going to parse it into an integer. So integer dot parse int just changes that string to a number. It's kind of confusing, but you have to do that. Then we're going to do number plus equals 1. So what that is, it adds 1 to number. So it's the same as number equals number plus 1, but we just do number plus equals 1. You can do it either way. It works all the ways you want to do it. Then we need to reassign it by going number text view dot set text. Then we need to do string dot value of number. And that is all we need to do, so that gets the number, adds 1 to it, and then reassigns it to the text view. And that is all we want to happen. So we're going to go up here to the green play button, click it. Then if you do not see a device here, you need to do create new virtual device, and then select any device you want and just follow the instructions. But I already have one right here. I have the Pixel, and we're going to click OK. So it runs it on our virtual device. So I'm just going to drag it in here. And when the Gradle build finishes running, you will see our app pop up on the screen. So this will take a couple minutes if you do not have the emulator already up. So just be patient with it. Alright, so it looks like our app has loaded in the emulator. And as you can see the 0 in the button. When I click the button, it will go up by 1. Okay, so that is our app. It just goes up by 1 every time you click the button. Very simple. And this is a great tutorial to get you some experience creating your first app with Android Studio. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like this video and subscribe for more great tutorials. Thanks for watching.